I want to ask you a question. The legislators need to address this. If you raise taxes in a state, you'll get more money or less money.
Well, you would think you would get more money.
You'd think so.
But apparently that's not the case.
That's not the case.
Yeah.
I have the stats. We're going to talk about it later on today. But listen to this. The 9 states with no personal income tax gained $146 billion between 1995 and 2010. $145 billion, no taxes. The states with the highest tax burden, they got hit. $139 billion loss. I wonder if legislatures will just listen to that.
That is so incredible. And now people are fleeing to these no personal income tax states.
We talked yesterday about Texas and California, but we're going to talk about more. Just think about that. If you're in Illinois, for example, where the legislature just persists on raising taxes, they lose money. So that's dumb. But anyhow, why do you expect them to be smart? Well, this is something that shocks America. 3 Oklahoma teenagers shot a college baseball star. Why? Well, the kids were bored. They wanted something to do.
It happened in broad daylight, and prosecutors say the teens shot him just for the fun of it. Mark Martin has the story.
Did he say what's wrong with him?
58 minutes.
He said he's shot.
The victim is 22-year-old Christopher Lane, who authorities say was jogging when the suspects drove by and opened fire. The star athlete, born in Australia, was attending East Central University in Oklahoma on a baseball scholarship.
He gave up a lot to follow his dream. He gave up Friday nights and 18th parties to be at the VIS at 8 o'clock the next morning.
They were a really lovely couple.
Lane had left his girlfriend Sarah Harper's house shortly before he was gunned down.
I'm really glad that I got the 4 years with him.
This week, prosecutors charged 2 Oklahoma teenagers, 15-year-old James Edwards Jr. and 16-year-old Chauncey Luna, with first-degree murder. A third teen is charged as an accessory. Police say the boys went out last Friday looking for a thrill killing. Investigators say one of the suspects claimed, "We were bored and had nothing to do."
They witnessed the young man run by on the street, chose him as a target.
The teens allegedly posted this cryptic message on social media. Bang, 2 drops in 2 hours. Authorities say their goal was to kill at least one other person. Business owners with surveillance video near the scene of the murder helped police track down the teens. Meanwhile, back in Australia on the field where Lane first played baseball, home plate is now covered in flowers to honor a 22-year-old man taken by senseless violence.
Has he stopped breathing? Yes. Yes, they said he has.
Mark Martin, CBN News.
Well, I hope the police in that city in Oklahoma are bored enough to pull the lever, an electric chair, or however they send people off. But I think that's a capital offense, and it deserves the death penalty. And then maybe young kids will know that that's not what you do when you're, quote, bored. Well, a school clerk says she turned to prayer to help stop a gunman at a school near Atlanta. Lee Webb has that fascinating story.
We will, Pat, tell you about that in just a moment, but first, the details of this incident. 20-year-old Michael Brandon Hill walked into an Atlanta area elementary school and threatened to kill everyone there. Anxious parents feared another Newtown massacre. In the end, no one was killed. The suspect exchanged gunfire with police before he was taken into custody. Timothy Hill says his brother has a history of mental issues.
I couldn't tell you what his mindset was when he went up in there. I honestly can tell you that he's got a long history of medical disorders and everything, including bipolar.
A school clerk is being credited with calming the gunman down. She told ABC News she was scared just like everyone else, so she just started praying in the spirit.
I give it all to God. I'm not the hero. I was terrified.
She is a hero. Afterward, though, the school superintendent said, "It is a blessed day. All our children are safe." In Syria, activist groups say at least 200 people are dead after the government launched a chemical weapons attack against rebels. Opposition groups say government forces fired rockets with poisonous gas. Britain and France plan to ask the United Nations to investigate the claims, and the man heading the UN team says they're ready to look into the possibility of a chemical attack. So far, the U.S. has no plans to intervene militarily in Syria. The Egyptian government is cracking down on the Muslim Brotherhood. More than 1,000 Brotherhood members have been arrested across the country in recent days. A fiery cleric named Safwat Hagazi was captured at a checkpoint near the Libyan border. State-run media says he was disguised as a woman. And Muslim Brotherhood spokesman Murad Ali was detained at the Cairo airport while attempting to flee to Italy. The arrest comes just one day after authorities detained the Brotherhood's supreme leader and spiritual guide, Mohammed Badi. Meanwhile, the White House has announced a cabinet-level meeting to discuss the possibility of cutting aid to Egypt. Pat?
Insanity to cut aid to Egypt. The military is doing what they need to do, what we would do. What if there was a riot in Washington? Well, you'd want the troops to come out to quell the riot. You'd hope that you could negotiate, but if they didn't, to listen to reason. But if you have fanatics whose purpose is jihad, our way is jihad, that's what they say. The Quran is our constitution. Our way is jihad. That means they're dedicated to killing, mayhem, and murder. And they have set on fire countless Christian churches in the country of Egypt, and they're willing to kill, maim, slaughter, whatever. And the Egyptian people said, no, we're not going to let you take over our nation. Why wouldn't the United States stand for the people who are on our side? The Muslim Brotherhood is not on our side, and it's time we recognize that at the highest levels of our government. Lee?
Pat, the National Security Agency's internet surveillance has been more widespread than officials have admitted. The Wall Street Journal reports the NSA has built a surveillance network that can reach roughly 75% of U.S. internet traffic. The network is designed mainly to look for international communications, but it also collects domestic conversations and emails. Officials say the NSA is not going through online discussions, but mainly looking for what it calls important information. Still, some lawmakers and civil libertarians worry that the NSA doesn't have enough safeguards to protect Americans' privacy. Well, it's been 3 months since a deadly tornado ripped through Moore, Oklahoma. In the days afterward, more tornadoes swept through that area. Floyd Bowman and his 2 sons were among those who lost everything. But Operation Blessing stepped in, and now the Bowmans have their home back.
We got people from all over the country that want to say something very special to you on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. So these are the volunteers that came from all over. This is Floyd. This is Austin. This is Fred. So what do you guys think about all this so far?
Nice.
You think it's nice?
Look! Dad, it looks nice. Look!
Fred, come here.
Austin, what do you think? You're welcome, man. You surprised?
Mm-hmm. This is me and Freddy's. Yes.
There's one theme that's resounded, and it's what an awesome dad you are. And I know it's been really tough for you, and I'll never forget meeting you when that bathroom was gutted out, and you could see the ground, and the house was falling apart, and you were doing everything you could to rebuild this house by yourself. And I remember that day, and we prayed together, and you had tears in your eyes, and you said, I'm doing the best I can. And I knew at that moment we had to help you.
Get out of Roger's way.
I'm going to give you this gift of the Bible, and a bunch of the volunteers have been able to sign this, but we just wanted to say we love you, we're praying for you, and we rejoice with you, we celebrate with you guys, and we're really happy for you. Congratulations.
Thanks, Los.
God bless you guys.
Everybody comes back saying what an awesome dad you are. And you may feel like you're alone at times, Floyd, but you are an incredible dad. And there's many other people we could have said yes to, but God put you in our path.
Wow. Operation Blessing's version of Extreme Home Makeover in Moore, Oklahoma. Operation Blessing, by the way, has been on the ground in Oklahoma from the day that twister hit on May 20th. The ministry has empowered thousands of volunteers who provided spiritual care and practical help for the victims as well as the emergency workers, Pat. It's been a great day out there.
It is a great day. Those guys do a wonderful job. Our team in Operation Blessing is just so wonderful. And in Slidell, Louisiana, they were there. Everybody left except Operation Blessing. They stayed on the ground and helped with medical relief, helped a hospital get up and running. We did all kinds of things down there. I mean, it's just, I say hospital, it was a clinic that served as a hospital. And they're in Moore, Oklahoma, rebuilding a home. I mean, and volunteers by the thousands are coming to help. This is really a very great country, and American people are very warm-hearted. They want to help their fellow citizens and neighbors when they suffer, and they just need some avenue to channel their generous impulses, and Operation Blessing serves that purpose.
That was a tearjerker. I mean, that guy was in shock, I think.
Yeah,
But you don't think people are going to do that for you.
That's right.
But there are still people out there like Operation Blessing that want to help and are helping and making a difference. And I know in New Orleans, we were there, like you said, for 2 years. We were one of the first in and the last to leave. And it's marvelous.
Well, it is marvelous. The thrill to be able to do it.
Israel's Counterterrorism Bureau is warning of a plot to hit Israeli and Jewish targets worldwide in the coming weeks. Dozens of countries were listed as having concrete indications of a terrorist threat. There is a concern terror acts will be timed to coincide with upcoming Jewish holidays like Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, as well as the anniversary of 9/11. The Bureau says Israeli businessmen and ex-government officials are prime targets for assassination or kidnapping. Germany will be the first country in Europe to introduce what it calls an indeterminate gender designation on birth certificates. On November 1st, the option to select blank, in addition to the standard choices of male or female, will become available. This would allow parents to opt out of determining their baby's gender, allowing those born with characteristics of both sexes to choose what gender to become later in life. You can always get the latest from CBN News by going to our website at cbnnews.com.